Friday evening in Northern Ireland. Welcome to BBC Newsline. I'm Declan Harvey. The kneecap member Mo Cara has the terror charge he was facing thrown out of court because of a technical error. The rapper says the entire process was never about him.
It was always about Gaza, about what happens if you dare to speak up. Your attempts to silence us have failed because we're right and you're wrong.
This man is found guilty of attempting what was called a nakedly sectarian pipe bomb attack on a GAA club. Stormont parties unite in their criticism of the Prime Minister's plan for a compulsory digital ID scheme.
We're concerned about civil liberties and we're also concerned about the operationality of it.
Let's be completely clear, this is not a new idea. It is not something that will address anything. If anything, it is causing real tension and fear for people out there.
Extra security measures introduced at Belfast City Hall after a portrait of a former Lord Mayor was vandalised cost £20,000. A guard of honour at his old school for Belfast's most recently crowned boxing champion.
Last time I was walking up here, I was signing in because I was late to school, but this time I'm a world champion, so to get like the recognition and stuff from the school, it's great and it's so good to be back.
Europe lead the USA at golf's Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. Join me for the latest and all of the weekend sport here in New York.
And after some beautiful, still clear mornings this week, it is all change for tomorrow. Rain moving in and a weather warning in place. I'll have all the details just before 7.
Good evening, everyone. The kneecap member Mo Cara has had the terror charge he was facing thrown out. Appearing in court in London under his real name, Liam Og Ohani, he was facing trial for allegedly appearing on stage last November with a flag of the Hezbollah group, which is a prescribed terror organisation in the UK, and therefore appearing to show support for it is a criminal offence. The judge said his decision had nothing to do with Mo Cara being innocent or guilty. Instead, it was because of a technical error. Let me explain. It's claimed the rapper was seen with the flag on stage in London on the 21st of November last year. That's an important date because under the terror legislation, authorities have exactly 6 months to charge him. That meant the cut-off date was the 21st of May 2025, but the documentation was only officially signed off on the 22nd, the day after, a day late. From Woolwich Crown Court, Kelly Bonner sent this.
Liam Og Ohani left Woolwich Crown Court today, in his words, a free man. The judge ruled that the charges against Mr Ohani were unlawful and null, saying the court had no jurisdiction to try the charge. Mr Ohani said the entire process was never about him.
Never about any threat to the public, never about terrorism, a word used by your government to discredit people you oppress. It was always about Gaza.
A barrister acting for a kneecap told the court that this case was every bit unjustified as it was flawed. When the ruling was handed down, the court erupted into applause. Mr Ohani's parents were there, they hugged him and told me as they were leaving court that they were delighted this was finally over.
Mo Cara is a free man.
Their legal team described the case as political persecution.
But the British government have nothing in their entire arsenal that can break the spirit of a West Belfast rap group.
Feeling great. I'm happy it's done. We can talk about Palestine and stop talking about kneecap.
And how are the band feeling then?
We're happy. We're never going to win anyway, so I won.
North Belfast MP John Finucane welcomed the ruling.
They've suffered as a result of this prosecution. I was in Canada actually earlier on this week. A Canadian minister cited this pending prosecution as a reason why he was barring entry to the band. But whether it's the Canadian government or the British government, any attempts to silence Liam, to silence kneecap, to try and quell any solidarity with the Palestinian movement, I think has failed, and failed not just spectacularly but very embarrassingly today for the authorities who brought a case that should never have been before the door of this court. The judge was quite emphatic about that today.
Hundreds turned out to support the West Belfast rapper.
They're wasting taxpayers' money, everyone's time and effort, and it's just ridiculous. So we got the good result in the end. We're all happy and ecstatic here.
I think it's an absolute disgrace that there's been distraction tactics from government and, more worryingly, the Met Police. I think it's outrageous that the law is written as it is, and I think it's been shown as an absolute nonsense today.
The Crown Prosecution Service said it was reviewing the decision of the court carefully. Kelly Bonner, BBC Newsline in London.
We've dropped an extra episode of our news podcast, The State of Us. If you want to know more about exactly what happened in court in South East London today and also outside the court, it's all there for you, The State of Us on BBC Sounds. Next this evening, a man has been convicted of attempting to attack an East Belfast GAA club with pipe bombs. John Wilson's motives were described as nakedly sectarian. Richard O'Reilly was in court.
This is John Wilson. He's 59 and from Lower Braniel Road in Belfast. On the 5th of August 2020, he placed 2 crude pipe bombs on the bonnets of cars that were parked at grounds used by East Belfast GAA. He is also found guilty of attempting to intimidate members of the club from attending or playing sports at Henry Jones playing fields.
This is the car park where Wilson planted the 2 pipe bombs. Now, they failed to detonate, however, they did spark a security alert. After planting the explosives, he made his way to the nearby Ballygowan Road on the other side of Henry Jones Park, where he then made a 999 call to police. Wilson was arrested at his home the following day. The court was told this week that his crime was nakedly sectarian. There has been a simple response today from East Belfast GAA. They've simply said that they appreciate media attention has come back to their club. However, their focus is squarely on their teams.
The court had been told this week that the drivers of both vehicles didn't see the devices on their cars until the following day, and the text messages sent by Wilson showed he had a motivation to disrupt the GAA's presence in East Belfast.
Well, the jury actually began deliberating this case yesterday afternoon. However, they asked to see some CCTV footage again, so it ran into a second day. They watched 3 clips today. The first of those showed him leaving his house on the day in question before returning a short time later. The second clip showed him walking past cars parked at Henry Jones playing fields. And a third video showed Wilson's van parking close to the area before he left to make a phone call informing police that there were pipe bombs in the area. The jury then resumed their deliberations for about another hour or so before returning a unanimous verdict of guilty. After that verdict was read, Wilson broke down in the dock and held his head in his hands. Wilson was granted bail to get his affairs in order. He's due to return here for sentencing on the 5th of December. Richard O'Reilly, BBC Newsline.
Now, the Prime Minister's plan to introduce compulsory UK-wide digital ID cards have been described as farcical. In fact, all the main parties at Stormont have come out against the scheme, but for differing reasons, as our political correspondent Jane McCormick has been finding out.
As a Prime Minister under growing pressure, this was Keir Starmer's moment to shift the spotlight back onto his plans to tackle illegal immigration, because, he said,
for too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish.
But what he outlined next is already making others squeamish.
This government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
The ID in question will be stored on your phone. The government says you won't be asked to produce it except to prove your right to work. Quickly branded as a Brit card, the First Minister was among those to criticise it, saying it was ludicrous and ill thought out.
The way in which this has been announced is incredibly amateurish from the Prime Minister. There's been no consultation with the First Minister or anybody in our own devolved assembly. It appears there was no consultation with the Scottish Assembly either.
And while our parties don't normally agree on much, on this they do, albeit for different reasons.
We're concerned about civil liberties and we're also concerned about the operationality of it. It seems very much like a Labour government that is flailing around trying to tackle illegal immigration, which it should be, but we do not feel that this plan is going to do that.
I think this is completely idiotic because there are already other means by which to penalise people who employ others illegally. Those methods are out there. Let's be completely clear, this is not a new idea. It is not something that will address anything. If anything, it is causing real tension and fear for people out there.
Labour last tried this idea in 2006. It didn't work then either. Another big argument over identity is brewing. Jane McCormack, BBC Newsline.
£20,000 has been spent on new security measures by Belfast City Council after this portrait, which hangs in a corridor at City Hall, was vandalised. The painting is of the former DUP Lord Mayor, Lord Brown. A Sinn Féin employee resigned over what happened and the police are still investigating. Our political reporter Brendan Hughes has this story.
The painting, the police probe and the price. Nearly a year has passed since this portrait of former DUP Lord Mayor Wallace Brown was damaged.
Okay, ladies and gents, we're going to go along this corridor.
It's back on display for tourists at Belfast City Hall, but that came at a cost. The repair bill was almost £2,500, and now it's emerged £20,000 was spent on new security measures. The council hasn't said what those new measures were, but they do seem to include new security cameras, and that's because if you take a look in the corner here, a new one has been installed. The portrait was damaged after an evening event celebrating an Irish language group attended by a number of well-known Sinn Féin figures. A party staff member at Stormont later resigned over the incident, and police began an investigation treating the damage as a hate crime. That came just days after former Sinn Féin Lord Mayor Niall O'Donnell's portrait was removed following a controversy over inappropriate text messages.
It is deeply concerning and it raises a number of questions.
The DUP says more transparency is needed.
All we are asking for is answers, accountability and justice, which is right in any democratic society, and all we are asking for is respect. Respect for our community and for its symbols in what should be a shared space in Belfast City Hall.
Police sent a file to the Public Prosecution Service in March, reporting a suspect for alleged criminal damage. It's still under consideration. With a criminal investigation continuing, questions remain over this portrait controversy. So while the costs have now been revealed, the full picture has yet to emerge. Brendan Hughes, BBC Newsline, Belfast.
A guard of honour was laid on to welcome newly crowned IBF World Welterweight Champion Lewis Crocker back to his old school in Belfast earlier. Hundreds of students at Malone College in Finaghy got out of class to cheer him on. Kevin Sharkey was watching.
A walk of fame for a famous past pupil. A new title and old memories.
Last time I was walking up here, I was signing in because I was late to school, but this time I'm a world champion, so to get like the recognition and stuff from the school, it's great and it's so good to be back.
A chance for the boxing master and the students to relive a memorable night. But then, just like school, it wasn't long before the hard questions came.
Sorry, see before the fight, did you think you were going to win or do you think you were going to get like that?
No, I was super confident.
The questions kept coming, and just like his boxing, he took them on the chin, making an instant impression.
It's really good to see someone from our school like coming, you know, here and like making it out. We're like world champion. It's really good.
And what did you think of the belt?
It's class. I love to get one myself. I'm a boxer myself, like, so I love to get one day.
Among the staff too, pride.
It's not very often you get to say you've taught a world champion, and certainly to bring him back to his old school, his old something ground. So it's been great.
There was a wee thing, as he mentioned, that, you know, advised him, you know, just in case you're not world champion, you know, just have a backup plan. And he did say to me, I am going to be world champion all those years ago. So fair play to him.
The boxing champion came here to present students with their hard-earned prizes and to show them his own.
If I can do it, every one of them would do it. You know what I mean? I'm no different from anyone there. It's amazing, and hopefully that inspires other people and other kids with dreams that they can push on and achieve their dreams.
Kevin Sharkey, BBC Newsline.
A 91-year-old community worker, a teenage environmentalist and a therapy dog are among the winners of this year's BBC Make a Difference Awards. We were delighted to welcome them all here to the BBC in Belfast. Earlier, our correspondent Mark Simpson was watching them collect their prizes.
There were cheers and there were tears. And hugs. Lots of hugs. Especially for members of Support Together, winners of the Community Group Award.
Support Together is a charity based in Oma, and we support mothers who are living with antenatal and postnatal depression and anxiety.
How do you feel about winning this award?
I am absolutely buzzing, and I mean that, and emotional. You know, it's a very emotional day watching everybody, but I am buzzing for the cause and to raise awareness regarding illness. Thank you all for being here.
The Volunteer Award was won by 91-year-old Lucy McMullen from County Tyrone. Also from Tyrone, the winner of the Great Neighbour Award.
Brady McCulloch.
There were cheers too for Sinead McCallion, the young hero, and also for 80-year-old Des Keenan, recognised for his fundraising over many years. The Active Award was won by Jennifer Smith, while the Green Award was won by this teenager.
Amy Mallon.
And then there was Pluto, an assistance therapy dog at St Kevin's College in Lisnaskea, winner of the Animal Award.
I'm so proud of Pluto that he's getting the recognition that he deserves, and the whole school's going to be delighted, and we can't wait to get back, and I'm sure they'll have a big party for us when we get back.
In total, more than 100 people were nominated for one of these awards, from Cookstown to Craigavon to Crossgar. But these are the winners. Congratulations! Mark Simpson, BBC Newsline at the Make a Difference Awards.
Yeah, really, congratulations to all of them. Let's turn to sport then. And day one of the Ryder Cup. Stephen Watson is in New York for us.
Well, what a start it's been for Team Europe to the Ryder Cup here at Bethpage Black. They won 3 of this morning's first 4 matches, meaning big American names like the popular Bryson DeChambeau and world #1 Scottie Scheffler were both beaten. Our own Rory McIlroy partnered England's Tommy Fleetwood, and they recorded an impressive victory in front of this 50,000 strong patriotic home crowd.
For the fans arriving to this famous venue, the chatter was all about the noise. And it was deafening before a ball was struck. But it wasn't the US Air Force flyover that was the main intrigue. It was how loud it would be for the European team. It didn't take Rory McIlroy long to quieten the home fans.
And for the 3rd time, the first hole is birdied.
He rolled in some fine putts to take an early lead in his match.
Win the hole with a birdie. Boom, and that goes.
Rory, playing in his 8th Ryder Cup, did it again at the next hole.
And another one. McIlroy and Fleetwood.
His partner was in fine form too. Tommy Fleetwood's superb shot set up another hole-winning chance. McIlroy enjoyed the effort and then finished it off en route to a dominant victory.
What a putt. Late breakfast.
I think when you've got a partner like Tommy, you can play with so much freedom and so much trust in your game because you know you have someone that's going to back you up. That's how I felt, you know, the 2 times we played in Rome and then today. You know, foursomes can be a tough format. You can start, you know, you can play a little tentative with the way the format is, but again, knowing I have this man beside me to bail me out if I do hit a bad shot, that's very comforting to know.
And the 4 afternoon matches are now all underway. Rory McIlroy is partnering fellow Irish golfer Shane Lowry against Americans Sam Burns and Patrick Cantlay. Now, in other sport, there's been more medal success today in Singapore at the World Para-Swimming Championships for Bethany Firth. She swam the anchor leg in the 100 metres mixed medley relay to secure a gold medal for Team GB. Bethany has already won silver and bronze on her return to competition since becoming a mother. And there was also a medal secured today in Shanghai at the World Rowing Championships, where Philip Doyle took bronze. The Banbridge man, alongside double Olympic champion Fintan McCarthy, was third in the final of the men's double sculls. So he's added to his growing medal collection, which includes the Olympic bronze he won in Paris last year. Well, Ulster kick off a new season tonight as the United Rugby Championship gets underway. They begin their campaign at home to Welsh side the Dragons. And after a disappointing 14th place finish in the league last season, Ulster are hoping to get off to a positive start, as Gavin Andrews reports.
Last season was one to forget in Belfast. Too often Ulster's fans headed home unimpressed. And that's something the players want to put right this term.
We've got 5 big, huge games in the sort of first block, if you like. There's no reason why this season can't be so different from last season, and that's something I'm really excited about, and it's something that I think going forward, a lot of the players will carry that as a bit of a chip in the shoulder, but internally we know what we can be and know where we can get to, and we want to be going after these games. We want to be, right from the outset, right from week one, look like an exciting team, look like a team that people want to support, look like a team of young guys who feel they can thrive in this environment, and currently that's what it feels like.
Ulster are reaching for new levels, and in pre-season the signs have been positive.
Semi-frustrating only having one game before the season, just to try and test some stuff out, because I felt that when we did play the game that there was some things, some learnings we had from it, and then we go into another training week and don't get to put it back out in the pitch again. But you know, the boys are really eager to learn this year, and there's, you know, I don't think we want a repeat of last season, so everyone's in the same boat, and just wanting to put it out there in front of the fans.
If they can get off to a fast start, it won't take long to get their swagger back. Gavin Andrews, BBC Newsline.
And as well as the rugby this evening, there's also local football. Bangor take on Linfield. The game is live on the BBC iPlayer. Drogheda meet Derry City, and we have commentary on BBC Radio Foyle. While on Sunday, almost 80,000 American football fans will descend on Croke Park. The Dublin venue is hosting an NFL game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thomas Kane reports.
A new look for GAA headquarters. Croke Park transformed as the latest stop on American football's global tour.
It's been a long time in the making, and to be here on the precipice of a first ever NFL regular season game in Ireland is incredibly exciting. Just being here the last few days, walking through Dublin and seeing the NFL fans, both Irish fans and people coming from the States, and the banners, and now to be in such an iconic stadium, transformed with an NFL look, it's really special.
Dublin has fully embraced its role as host city, with fan events taking place throughout the weekend. Over 30,000 Americans are expected to make the trip across the Atlantic for an event that sold out instantly. The driving force behind it has been the Pittsburgh Steelers. The franchise owners have Irish roots, and one NFL Hall of Famer feels it's going to be an occasion to remember.
Well, I just think people have kind of gravitated to the energy, the excitement of the game, the fast pace. So I expect to see Croke Park jamming. The energy should be electric. I'm excited for it.
Sunday's showdown isn't a friendly or exhibition. It could actually have a huge bearing on the seasons of both the Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. It may have taken over a decade for the dream of an NFL game to turn into reality, but the players themselves aren't spending a huge amount of time on Irish soil. Superstars like Aaron Rodgers touched down in the city this morning, and they'll leave straight after Sunday's encounter.
You know, in my 21 years, when I first got in the league, there was an occasional, game in Canada, but now we see games in so many different countries. I mean, we had a game in Brazil already. We have games in Mexico City. There's games at Tottenham. There's games at Wembley, and now it's fun to be able to be a part of a game here.
How fortunate we are to get to be
one of the teams that gets to play in Dublin and in front at a historical venue in front of great fans, both fans of our team, fans of the Steelers, but just NFL fans in general, and take a lot of pride in getting to continue to grow the NFL game and our brand of football for the whole world.
For the touchdown.
America's game is taking over Dublin for one weekend at least. Thomas Keane, BBC Newsline.
Should be a wonderful occasion. That's it from New York, but I'll keep you up to date with how the Ryder Cup unfolds over the weekend.
Stephen Watson there, and I've enjoyed today how at the Ryder Cup Rory McIlroy and his partner Tommy Fleetwood are becoming known as Fleetwood Mac. Back home though, kayaking in Culmore, and this time of year our weather wall really bursts into autumn colour. You can just start to see it develop there. What's the forecast like though? What's the weekend going to be?
It's been quite a week, hasn't it? But I'm afraid even the best things have to come to an end, and there's something of a change on the way. We've had high pressure in charge of our weather all this week, so we've had some fantastic sunrises, but it means that tomorrow is going to look very different. The reason for that? Well, this weather front that's appearing over my shoulder is going to move through overnight tonight. We start off with reasonably clear skies, but the cloud thickens up, and that means the temperatures won't drop away too much. Overnight lows of 10 to 12 degrees, but there's quite a lot of rain on this front. We're expecting 20 to 30 millimetres for most places, up to 40 or 50 in the worst affected areas, and we have a yellow severe weather warning across eastern counties from 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, because here is that front moving slowly eastwards and stalling really and lasting well into the afternoon, and you can see it pepping up in intensity, those green hues there showing some heavier downpours. Something a little clearer and fresher and brighter afterwards, a mix of sunshine and showers, and top temperatures of 13 to 15 degrees in the west through the afternoon. Overnight, with those clear skies, the temperatures will drop away, so back down to single-figure lows overnight Saturday into Sunday. But Sunday is an improving picture. It's not an entirely dry day, still some showers as we go into the morning period, but high pressure is trying to build in. It'll squeeze out those showers, so things will dry up and we'll start to see some breaks in the clouds, so some sunny spells into the afternoon. Top temperatures 14 to 16 degrees. Sunday afternoon definitely the best bit of the weekend. Heading into the start of the new working week, this ridge of high pressure is trying to force the Atlantic systems to the north, not entirely successfully, so we will see some showers through the day on Monday, a good deal of cloud around, and we've got this feed from the southwest, so that's mild moist air that'll be moving up through Monday and for much of the rest of the week as well. So whilst high pressure will be becoming re-established overhead, it's trapping the clouds, so rather more in the way of cloud as we go through next week, although the temperatures will be nudging up for Tuesday. Declan.
Jeff, thank you very much. And so at 7 o'clock on a Friday, I think we can confidently say the weekend has begun. Enjoy whatever plans you have, and all being well, we'll see you back here Monday, 6:30. Bye-bye.